This isn't just a story about two artists collaborating, it's about a brotherhood that's been rocking the world for over 30 years. Picture this, it's the early 90s, and hip hop is buzzing with fresh sounds and raw talent. Dr. Dre's already a big name from his NWA days, and he stumbles upon a young Snoop Dogg whose slick rhymes and laid-back style were like nothing that he'd ever heard before. Now, it's kind of wild to think that their partnership started with Dre hearing Snoop's demo at a party. Talk about fate, right? The beginning of a legendary partnership. The early 1990s marked the dawn of a legendary partnership in the world of hip-hop. One that would not only define the careers of two icons, but also shape the musical landscape of an entire era. It's the early 90s, and the hip-hop scene is buzzing with raw talent and uncharted potential. Enter Dr. Dre, already a respected figure from his time with NWA, on the lookout for fresh voices to elevate his new musical ventures. Now this is where Snoop Dogg, then a young rapper from Long Beach with a unique flow, steps into the picture. Now it's almost cinematic how they met. Snoop, selling mixtapes, gets his big break when Dre hears his tape at a bachelor party. Like, man, can you imagine that? Like Dre, amidst the party chaos, recognizing a diamond in the rough. Man had an eye. Now, their first studio session together was nothing short of electric. Dre with his impeccable ear for beats, and Snoop with his laid-back yet sharp lyrical prowess found an instant and undeniable synergy. Now, this collaboration birthed Deep Cover, the track that not only showcased Snoop's hypnotic rhymes, but also set the stage for a new era in hip-hop. The song was a hit, but here's a fun little fact for y'all. Dre initially wasn't too keen on it, almost shelving it away. Imagine a world where Deep Cover wasn't a thing, and where going 187 on an undercover didn't exist. Shit. Rising to fame together. The rise to fame of Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. Now that's a story that's as captivating as the music. When The Chronic dropped in '92, it was like a bombshell in the hip-hop world. This wasn't just any album, it was a masterpiece that would redefine the genre. And guess who was riding shotgun with Dre? None other than Snoop Dogg, whose smooth, effortless flow was all over the tracks. It was like Dre laid the tracks and Snoop just cruised on them with his unique style. Snoop wasn't just featured, man, he was integral, almost like the album was a duo project. This was a launch pad that rocketed Snoop to stardom. Then came Doggy Style in '93, Snoop's debut album, and oh man, did it take the world by storm. We're talking chain-topping, record-breaking, culture-shaping kind of impact. Man, it was raw, it was fun, and it was unapologetically Snoop. From Who I Am, What's My Name, to Gin and Juice, man. These tracks didn't just dominate the charts, right? They became anthems. And let's talk about how this anthem, along with The Chronic, shifted the epicenter of hip-hop. Now before this, New York was the undisputed king of hip-hop, but Snoop and Dre, with their G-Funk sound, brought the spotlight to the West Coast. But the friendship of Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre wasn't always smooth sailing. It had its fair share of bumps and twists too. Challenges and evolution. The mid-90s were a pivotal time for both artists, marked by their departure from Death Row Records. Now imagine this, Dre feeling stifled and clashing with the label's management, decides it's time to spread his wings, and flies off to start Aftermath Entertainment in '96. Now Snoop, on the other hand, sticks around a bit longer, but eventually finds himself at a crossroads. By '96, he's charting his own course and lands at Masterpiece No Limit Records. Now it was like watching two brothers take different paths after years of walking the same road. But you know what they say about friendships like theirs, right? They're hard to break. Now their brief time apart didn't last very long. By '99, Dre and Snoop were back in the studio cooking up tracks for Snoop's No Limit Top Dog album. Man, it was like they never missed a beat, rekindling that magic that made them a dynamic duo in the first place. And let's not forget about the late 90s and early 2000s when they kept pushing boundaries. Their collaborations continued, culminating in Dre's iconic album 2001. Ongoing collaboration and mutual respect. Throughout the years, Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre's journey together has been like a legendary saga, filled with epic moments and a mutual respect that's rare in the fast-paced music world. Let's rewind back to the year 2000, when the duo hit the road for the Up in Smoke tour. Now, this wasn't just any tour, it was a monumental event in hip-hop history. Snoop and Dre, along with a lineup of hip-hop heavyweights, turning every stop into a celebration of the genre's golden era. Now fast forward to 2012, where they are at Coachella, headlining one of the biggest music festivals on the planet. Their performance was more than just a set list, it was a cultural moment, especially with that mind-blowing Tupac hologram. But it's not just about the big stages. Take Dre's album Compton, right? Released back in 2015. Now, Snoop wasn't just a feature, he was an essential part of the narrative, proving that their creative chemistry was still as potent as ever. And then in 2018, when Snoop got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, who was there to honor him? Dr. Dre, speaking words of pride and respect. It was a full circle moment, man, showing the world the depth of their bond. Snoop Dogg even gave Dr. Dre a special shout out during a speech stating, "Shout out to Dr. Dre for believing me when I really wasn't nothing." And I'm gonna say that because I really mean that, because I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to be a rapper. He even went on to say, when Dr. Dre gave me an opportunity, he didn't really look at me like somebody that was less than him. He looked at me like an equal, and we've always been brothers from that day. Brotherhood beyond music. You know, the bond between Snoop and Dre goes way beyond just laying down tracks and lighting up stages. It's like a brotherhood that stood the test of time and life's many ups and downs. Think about it, man. These two have been there for each other through thick and thin, like true brothers. Take the tough times, for instance. When life threw curveballs, they had each other's backs, offering support and strength. Man, it's like in the world of hip-hop, where things can get pretty intense, their friendship was a steady ship in stormy seas. And then you listen to how Snoop talks about Dre, man. It's not just respect, it's deep gratitude. Snoop credits Dre with not just shaping his career, but also impacting his life in profound ways. He's like, Dre's not just a collaborator, man, he's a mentor, a guide, a big bro. And let's talk about that Super Bowl halftime show, right? That was a moment, right? It wasn't just a performance, man, it was a celebration of their journey, their legacy, their unbreakable bond. Standing there in front of millions, they weren't just two artists, they were symbols of enduring partnerships and mutual respect. And that performance was more than entertainment. It was a shout out to what they built together over the decades, a brotherhood that transcends music, fame, and all the glitter and the gold that you can throw. It's real, it's deep, and it's what makes Snoop and Dre more than just icons. So comment on down below what you think of this brotherhood bond. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more friendship stories from the world of music and beyond. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll catch you next time.